What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another video. As I mentioned in my video last night, I still am getting over some sinus things, so I apologize that for ahead of time. But let's just get into it. I'm going to chop this video up as best I can. I don't want this to be any type of long format video. I just want to kind of showcase the show floor, and that's it. So, you see the calendar here. A lot of people, I know a lot of you are excited for RSI being the 20th and 21st right out the gate, because that's Perseus territory, right? A lot of people are waiting on that ship. And I think it's going to be a fantastic ship. But anyways, let's get into it. So, getting into the first bit of the show floor here. There's this open ground pad here. No, I mean, there could be a ship there. There could be some unannounced ground vehicle there. Who knows? I mean, I haven't been following the leaks or anything like that. But this one here, so that's the Meteor. And if you notice, the sign just says the. So it feels to me like there's something that's not being shown here, and this is just simply a placeholder with the Meteor. If I had to guess, seeing that it's RSI, I would assume that that's going to be that starter slash small ship that they're bringing out. I think it's a minor. Maybe it's a salvager. You guys can comment that below. But I believe that's what's going to be there. And then where this Kruger display is with the L21, I believe that's just a placeholder, and the L22 will actually be sitting there, which is the laser variant of the L21. And again, I'm not a harbinger or whatever. I don't hold all this knowledge about all this stuff. I read here and there. If I'm saying something incorrect, you guys comment, let me know. But this is all just going based on my own memory, which isn't necessarily the greatest, right? But looking at this RSI pad, in my opinion, it's pretty obvious what's going to go here, right? There's going to be the rear end will be to the left, the nose will be to the right. We're going to have a big Perseus just sitting here. And it's going to be a great view when you walk up those stairs and see that thing at an angle. I think it'll be fantastic. Sorry, that's my puppy whining. What do you want, buddy? But looking around the rest of the entryway here, nothing that really caught my eye, at least in the entryway, other than those things that we've talked about. So I'm going to go ahead and start chopping this up, and I'll show the different rooms along the way. All right, so passing by the mining section, going to the right, first thing you're coming to is the Consolidated Outlands and the, what was the other one over there? Crusader. Nothing in here that stood out. Everything seems to be, this is how it's going to be for the show. I don't think there were any placeholders here. The only Consolidated Outland ship that I know people are anticipating right now is of course, the big boy, the Pioneer, the base builder. Maybe I misunderstood that one, but I thought during CitizenCon last year, SIG told us that we were going to potentially have our hands on it this year. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's a 2026 thing. But either way, I don't think they're going to surprise anyone with a Pioneer. We know it's in the works. We know it's been worked on. But in my opinion, we're not seeing that before December. I'm pretty sure that'll be a later next year thing. But anyhow, on to the next. All right, moving in a counterclockwise direction from the Crusader room, you're going to come up on the Origin, Drake, and Greycat. I think it's safe to say that we all know that there's some Drake concept coming. In my opinion, and I've heard several others voice this as well, that silhouette that we saw in SitCon 2024 of that small, I want to say small, but the silhouette with a man standing next to it kind of made it look like it's on the bigger side of small. But either way, it's that triangular shaped ship that looks like it's got foldable Corsair wings. All we've seen so far is the silhouette. In my opinion, I think that's some type of fighter, maybe even a bomber of some sort. But either way, I think that's going to show up here. It'll be in one of these two empty platforms, if I had to guess. I hope I'm right, because I'd like to see another Drake ship personally. But that's just, that's all speculative, right? I have no idea if it's going to make it or not. But there are two empty platforms here. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think Drake is going to throw at us? 2 empty platforms. We can sit here and speculate. Maybe there's 2 ships coming. That we know one silhouette. I don't know of a second potential Drake that anyone's been expecting, or that Sig may have alluded to. But either way, Origin side, I was hoping to find an empty pad here because I don't know if many people are excited, but I am, about that new ground vehicle that Origin is releasing. It's basically a competitor to an Ursa. They also have a racing version of it, which is cool. I was hoping that maybe we're going to see that, but I haven't heard anything about it being in production. So who knows? And it's a small ground vehicle, so I don't know that we're going to hear much about it. They're just going to, once it's done, they're just going to throw it in at some point, I would imagine. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this area. Again, what do you think's coming from Drake? Let me know. All right, so continuing counterclockwise to Hall 3, we're coming into the alien section. So we have Asperia and Gaytech. Nothing new here. I don't think we're anticipating anything new. We did just get the new Asperia fighter that you see over there on the right. That thing's had some pretty mixed reactions from what I've seen across Reddit and just people talking about it in the verse and the org talking about it. People like it, people don't like it. You know, it is what it is. I'm sure it'll get some buffs along the way. But anyways, not much going on here. I don't know of anything that is anticipated on the alien side other than the Gaytech, I might butcher the pronunciation here. I want to say it's the Raelian, or it's the cargo. I believe it's a medium-sized cargo. I know that was announced several years ago. I don't know if it's in active production, but I do know that is one alien ship that people are looking forward to. Which, if I recall, is going to require a cargo rework to some degree, because the boxes that were on it were actually triangular in shape, if I'm remembering correctly. But anyways, on to the next. Alright, so rounding out the show, the last room on the counterclockwise tour here is Aegis and Anvil. Didn't see anything in here that stood out. I don't think we're anticipating anything from Aegis or Anvil. So I'm just going to let that one ride. If you guys are anticipating something, or if you know something that I'm not, talking about or caught up on, please throw it in the comments. Let me know. Would love to hear from you guys. What are you anticipating? What are you thinking? You Perseus folks out there, you Perseus owners. I'm not one myself. I look forward to encountering them. I got several org mates that own them. So I'm looking forward to it. I think, a heavy hitter like that is something that is needed in the verse. It's, anti-Polaris, anti-Idris. At least that's, my opinion. I look forward to it, Hey, more big ships. Bring on the big ships. But anyways, that's going to do it for the show. Just to note, in the PTU, there is not a downstairs area where we'd normally have the staircases that spiral down. And typically you might find some armor or a gun wall down there, or FPS gun wall. That's not here in the PTU. I don't know if it'll change between now and live, or if the gun wall is strictly more of an Invictus only thing. I don't know. But that's pretty much it. Covered everything. The components all laying around, the weapons, the ship weapons all laying around. That's all store purchasable things. There's nothing unique that I saw. They didn't, sneak any high-end components in here or anything like that. It's all stuff you could buy at Babbage or Crusader or Area 18. But that'll do it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. Like the video. If you do like the video, please like the video. Click that like button. It really helps a small channel like mine. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much. Have a great one.